So, today we have some very unfortunate news to get into regarding what seems to be the start of the highly predictable outbreak in the Performance Center, and another story concerning former WWE superstar AJ Lee. So, let's get right into the stories. As you already heard by now, WWE is very much at the start of their own outbreak at the Performance Center. We talked about this topic a lot last week after just one audience member tested positive. We talked about the dangers that it could cause for WWE and the chaos that followed that positive test result. However, it didn't get much media attention. It was just one case. WWE released their statement, and that was that. But only 1 week later, we are seeing a much different story. TMZ, Bleacher Report, and other huge media outlets were all reporting that just around 20 to 30 individuals at the WWE Performance Center all tested positive for the virus. Everyone from backstage producers to interviewers to actual in-ring talent, everyone were all affected. After the news broke and finally got some mainstream media attention, WWE released this statement. WWE will continue the testing of its talent, production crew, and employees in advance of TV productions for the foreseeable future. The most mind-blowing thing here is that before Monday, June 15th, 2020, WWE was not testing for the virus. A lot of people just could have believed that fact. Throughout all the last few months of dealing with everything going on, WWE just had temperature checks. So that was a horrible move. So WWE has been extremely lucky over these last few months to not have a serious outbreak. But with them not doing proper testing before June, it was only a matter of time before something like this unfortunately struck the WWE. It's just really sad that it took a positive test result in order for WWE to start properly testing. This is something that should have been done over 3 months ago. It seems like they were just winging it and handling it very poorly. Maybe that's just the writing that Roman Reigns saw on the wall and decided to get out early and fast. You look at other sports such as UFC and NBA, the way they are running things is like a strict operation. UFC has their own private arena with each competitor being tested before the big fights. Then over in the NBA, they are planning on having the players show up 2 weeks before the season resumes to quarantine themselves and make sure they're healthy. Then from there, NBA will be creating a bubble, and the players won't be allowed to leave this bubble, and that's how they plan on reducing the risk. So you see both of those cases, it's a strict operation, and it reduces the risk and keeps the talent safe, something that has been really missing from WWE's operation. We see superstars posting pictures of themselves in Vegas, and then they're at the Performance Center a few days later. It's actions like that from the superstars that can also put everyone at risk. The county that the Performance Center is in has passed a new law that everyone must be wearing a face mask, but once again, WWE finds a way around the rule and finds a loophole. Since the Performance Center is private property, WWE doesn't have to listen to that face mask rule. So right now, there's a dozen upon dozen of Performance Center talent that are unfortunately dealing with the illness. As of this time, 3 of WWE's positive testing stars have announced their results. These stars being Renee Young, Kayla Braxton, and producer Adam Pearce. Renee Young took to Twitter to announce the unfortunate news. Man, what a few days. My show gets canceled and I get COVID. Wear your masks and wash your hands. Stay safe, everyone. It was said that Renee was feeling really ill, but is fortunately recovering and feeling much better. Positive test results for Renee also puts her husband, Jon Moxley, at risk. Moxley was not at AEW this week due to his exposure to the illness. Kayla Braxton also revealed that this is her second time fighting the illness. Thousands of superstars and fans all came out to wish them a speedy recovery. Can't stress enough how much we wish these individuals a speedy recovery. We always talked about how all of them working through all of this was a big risk, and it really breaks everyone's heart to see this happening to those individuals that did everything they can to entertain us during these times. This really is awful. Unfortunately, it doesn't stop there. As noted before, there's over 20 confirmed cases at the moment, and that number will only continue to go up. Reports claim that one of these confirmed cases is a big Raw superstar that is involved in a major storyline. Obviously, the name won't be released and isn't listed, but we will get a better idea once we see which big superstar is missing from the next taping. But apparently, a big Raw superstar has it and will need to be replaced in the big storyline. So, this is just chaos right now. Reports claim that everyone is terrified backstage, and honestly, we don't even need a report to tell us that. We can only imagine how scared the superstars are right now. Sure, the testing is going on right now, but the spreading already happened, and more cases will continue to pop up in the Performance Center over the next 2 weeks. I know it's something that WWE will probably never do, but I think it's the one thing that can really stop their outbreak is to shut everything down for at least 2 to 3 weeks. The NBA shut down after one case, and it doesn't look like WWE is even considering shutting down with nearly 30 cases. The shutdown will really help calm the Performance Center outbreak down a bit, but as they already made it known, they aren't stopping. Programming will continue, and this may continue to get really bad for WWE. Shut it down for a few weeks and come back with a bubble sort of operation similar to the NBA. Something where all the talent has to stay close to the Performance Center and aren't allowed to go places like Vegas and show up to the Performance Center a few days later. Of course, that's easier said than done. You're talking about superstars being away from their families for a long time. So a bubble sort of operation in WWE really wouldn't work. But there has to be something that can be done to reduce the risk. WWE has already put a stop to the extra friends and family members in the audience. So it's just back to being Performance Center recruits. So that's a start, but there needs to be more to be done. In other news, we have a much more lighter story about CM Punk and AJ Lee. It looks like AJ Lee refused to help her husband train or work out. CM Punk tweeted out the story and had this to say about what happened on Twitter. I asked my wife to put on boxing gloves and give me a few shots last night, and that's where we are. She refused, by the way, so I'm trying to incognito take her temperature because I assume she is sick. So a funny story there by Punk and AJ Lee. It looks like Punk found it completely out of character for AJ to pass up an opportunity to punch him, so he assumed something had to be wrong with her. So just a more lighthearted story there. But what are your thoughts on everything going on with the WWE? Leave your comments, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.